Austin, pretty clearly the level of physicality went up for you guys. Was there anything defensively from an execution standpoint that you thought was different as well in game 2 tonight?
No, I just thought we played hard. I spoke about how they play every single game, regular season, postseason. They play hard as shit, and if you don't meet that physicality with physicality, then you see the result. So that was emphasis going into the night was play hard.
Some looks from three that you usually hit weren't going down. Did you adjust and think about getting yourself to the bucket, getting into some of that mid-range action to get yourself going after that?
No, I don't really ever just sit there and think about shots I'm going to take. If I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. If not, I'm going to try to make a play for a teammate. Unfortunately, I got 4 good looks to start the game. Let's say 3 points. I think I would look shot anyway, but just didn't make it. And if you start the game over, I have those 3 looks, 4 looks again. I'll probably shoot back when you get 2. So, I trust the work that I put in. And like I've said a million times, I just continue to try to play the game the right way.
Rui left the game early. I did right in the first. Left the game early. I think he fitted for mask. Threw that mask off and I'm trying another one out, and he's still mixing it up in there, both offensively and defensively. What do you think of his effort and kind of maybe being an example of the type of physicality that you all were able to play with tonight?
Yeah, I thought Rui was big for us tonight. He didn't get that many shots, but the physicality that he played with on the defensive end, even after get hit in the nose or whatever the situation is, he came back out and it didn't look like anything happened other than him wearing a mask. He was out there competing his ass off every single possession. He had a couple really good possessions starting Julius Randle in that third and fourth quarter where he just stood his ground, made him take tough shots and didn't foul. So he was big for us tonight.
After Minnesota cut it to 11 midway through the third quarter, I think about it, JJ was pretty animated after you called timeout. What was the message to the in the huddle after that time? I was following what you make of the team's response. I think you guys were on a 9 run to get the lead back up to 20.
Well, you asking why? What he was animated about?
What was he animated about? What was the message in the huddle?
Play better. I don't know if y'all talked to him. If he wants to say what he said, you can. Just say he wasn't happy and he responded well.
Austin, you took that big charge when they were in transition late. What did you see on that play? There's also LeBron on his steal with the finish in transition. I think it got to like 9 at that point. Just what did you see in terms of your guys' defensive playmaking in crunch time?
I thought it was huge because our offensive playmaking in the fourth quarter was not what it usually is. It took a couple really bad plays. We had a couple turnovers, and in those situations, you just gotta, lay it all out on the line and do whatever you can do to, help your team win. And in the playoffs, like I spoke about, you win on, the smallest margins, or you lose on the smallest margins. So a play like that in that situation, everybody on our team was ready to, sacrifice their body to, get a win.
Austin, you guys, I think, kind of the regular season have put them down 6 times and really struggled to score the basketball 4 of those times. What is it specifically about their defense? I know you guys have changed it, but what they do defensively that's so hard to crack?
You can start with them having really good individual defenders. Jamie Daniels is a problem on the floor. Dan's a problem on the floor. They kill. You can go through the whole line. He does a good job protecting the paint. I don't know. I have to rewatch the game. I think that we got looks that we were happy with. In a lot of situations, we just didn't make them. But like I said, I think Brian's idea is to play hard and be physical.
mid-December, you guys started to forge an identity where you guys played really hard too. Like it became kind of a core principal part of what this team was, and it's faded at times down the stretch. But I guess how comfortable do you think this group was having to win a game this way tonight, knowing that you guys have won games this way at times throughout the season?
Like you said, we've done it multiple times this year. I think you can go back and throughout the midst of the regular season, you lose a couple games and then you might not be playing as good as you were offensively, defensively. And the one thing that you can always, go back to is competing as hard as you possibly can every possession. And I feel like that's what we did tonight from the start, to the end of the game. Every single possession, everybody was locked in. Everybody was willing to do whatever it took to, get this win. And it's got to be like that because they got a group of guys that's going to do that as well. So, we're comfortable with having to play it like that.
Well, that's the last question. Hey, Austin. JJ said that there are signs that tonight was going to be different. Obviously, you guys had a great practice. I'm curious, was there anything said in the group chat or anything in the locker room pregame, or what did you see that let you know that the team's going to come out with a requisite physicality tonight?
I think it just goes back to the other night when we basically got punked, like, as we call spade a spade. They come in here game one and, punked us. And you could tell from the energy in the locker room after the game